Hey, it's Jay, and welcome back to another review. I know I said I was going to do the Impractical Jokers movie this week, but since this film came first and it's a little bit bigger in terms of production quality, we're going to be looking at the latest installment in the DC Extended Universe, Birds of Prey, and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. I know it's a mouthful, but hey, that's what the movie's called. So let's get into the plot. So, sometime after the events of the Suicide Squad and the Enchantress's defeat, Harley Quinn and Mr. J break up, and she is tossed onto the street of Gotham. She's very distraught by this, and she takes residence with Doc, a Taiwanese restaurant owner, and she copes with the breakup by cutting her hair, adopting a pet hyena, yes you heard me, a pet hyena, and names it Bruce after Bruce Wayne, and takes up roller derby as a side hobby, trying to get her anger out, because as we all know, Harley Quinn's very dangerous in terms of fighting. So that's how she's coping with the fact that she is no longer with the Clown Prince of Darkness. So one night, Harley Quinn, again played by Margot Robbie, I forgot to mention that, goes to a nightclub owned by Roman Sionis, played by Ewan McGregor, and gets very, very drunk. She meets the club's singer, Dinah Lance, played by Journey Smollett Bell, and befriends her, kind of. And Lance is able to save Harley after she's so intoxicated that there's an attempted abduction by some men for Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, in her drunken haze, has the brilliant idea of driving a truck into the Ace Chemical Plant Tower where she pledged herself to the Joker back in Suicide Squad, as kind of a statement saying that she and the Joker have split. At the same time, a drunken police officer by the name of Renee Montoya, played by Rosie Perez, is investigating multiple homicides committed by a crossbow-wielding vigilante. She then finds out about the Ace chemical plant explosion and finds Harley Quinn's necklace at the scene, which is great news for her because Harley Quinn is obviously wanted, but now that the Joker isn't involved in the picture anymore, Harley has become a target of a lot of people, seeing as she's no longer under the protection of the Joker, because that's what made everybody afraid to do anything with Harley Quinn, is that the Joker would come and kill them. So now that Harley's not with the Joker, it's fair game on her, because she's made a lot of enemies. So at the same time, Roman promotes Dinah to his new driver because back at the nightclub, his old driver insulted Harley Quinn and his legs were up, and Harley proceeded to break his legs by jumping as hard as she can on them, folding them backwards. So he can't really be a driver anymore. So after witnessing Dinah kick some ass of those men who are trying to abduct Harley, he's impressed and appoints her his new driver. So it looks like, I guess, Dinah got a promotion? But Roman's kind of a sick guy, so it can't be too great. So Roman sends Dinah and his sadistic partner, Victor Zaz, played by Chris Messina, to retrieve a diamond that is encoded with the fortune of the Bertinelli fortune. And the Bertinelli family is a very wealthy family that was massacred years ago. And if you pretty much get that diamond, you get a key to their fortune. So obviously it's a pretty high-class ticket with a bunch of these, mob bosses and criminals and everything like that. So he sends them to go retrieve it. However, there is a young pickpocket by the name of Cassandra Cain, played by Ella J. Bosco, who swipes it from Zaz after they're able to retrieve it and swallows it once she gets arrested because she's been pickpocketing everybody in the city of Gotham. At the same time, Harley is also fleeing from those numerous people that she's crossed in her life, as I mentioned before, including Montoya, but she's actually caught by Roman's men and brought to his capture. When Zaz comes back and reports that the diamond has been taken from them, he's not too happy. However, to calm him down, they said that they have captured Harley Quinn, and this kind of puts glee on Roman's face, because he's going to go kill somebody who he's wanted to kill for a long time. So he tortures her for a little bit and threatens to kill her, but Harley knows about the diamond because she overheard a conversation that Roman and Zaz were having, and she promises that she will go retrieve the diamond for him, just trying to give herself a little bit more time to spare to maybe try to get out of the situation and not be, killed. Roman agrees, But to shake things up and not make it too easy for Harley, because he knows what she's capable of, he puts a bounty on the girl, on Cassie, to get her captured, just to, again, make things more interesting and more difficult for Harley. Harley is able to break Kane out of prison, but at the same time, while trying to free her, she frees every other criminal out there. And they try to kill her, and Roman's men try to kill her, but they're able to escape and kill all of them because it's Harley Quinn. And they're able to get away. Harley takes Cassandra out of the prison and saves her. So after escaping the evidence warehouse, Harley and Cass begin to bond. And they go hide out at Harley's apartment. Doc is approached by the crossbow-wielding vigilante, who is revealed to be Helena Bertinelli, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And she has been going on revenge missions, killing everybody who was responsible for the death and massacre of her entire family. So she asks Doc for some information, because Doc knows everything about everyone in the town, so he's the one to get information for. While they're bonding and, just chilling in Harley's apartment, a criminal who's looking for Cassie bombs her apartment, and it is revealed that Doc actually sold her out for money. And this is just a huge blow to Harley, because she's trusted this man, but he's like, I gotta do what I have to do, and this is going to allow me to retire, allow me to do what I need to do instead of just staying in this, crap hole city running a Taiwanese restaurant. This is going to help me. And Harley sees this as an opportunity to gain Roman's protection, because Roman is kind of like the Kingpin from the Daredevil universe, where he has connections everywhere and he pretty much owns the city. Roman's the same way. So she promises to bring Cassie over in exchange for his protection. This is a big blow to Cassie too, because she's never had anybody take care of her and love her. And when Harley betrays her like that, it's a huge blow to her too. But Harley just comes to terms that I'm a terrible person. I can't, hold on to you and have any emotional value to you, because I'm just going to end up screwing it up because I'm such a bad person. So it seems as though a deal has been struck by Roman and Harley. So at the same time, Dinah and Zaz go to meet Harley at the rendezvous point. But Dinah, not wanting to be a part of Roman's schemes anymore, she dons the moniker of Black Canary and sends a text message to Montoya, who has since been kicked off the police force because she's been doing things against her captain's orders. Like every cop story literally ever in history. However, Zaz notices the text messages of betrayal that Black Canary has been sending to Montoya, and informs Roman of that betrayal. And Roman is kind of like a 3-year-old when he doesn't get the toy he wants in the grocery store, and throws a massive fit and dons the Black Mask moniker that we've been waiting for him to don for this entire film, and heads to the rendezvous point as well, with the aid of everybody who he's promised protection. He's like, now it's time for you to pay me back for all the protection, all the everything that I've offered you. And he assembles this massive, massive army to go take on Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. So at the park, Montoya confronts Harley, because she's been chasing her this entire film. And just as Harley gets the upper hand on Montoya, Zaz comes in and tranquilizes Harley. But at the same time also holds Dinah at gunpoint, because remember, Cassie swallowed the diamond, so Harley was giving her laxatives to try to get her to, get the diamond out. Dinah tries to free her, but Zaz puts her at gunpoint and is like, are you trying to betray Roman? And of course she's denying it, and he's like, well then prove it, cut her open right now, get the diamond out. And since she won't do it, it looks like it's game over for Dinah. But Huntress comes in. Helena Bertinelli goes by Huntress in the film, shoots an arrow in Zaz's head, revealing that he was the last murderer of her family, because she's killed everybody else, all the other hitmen, except for one, and this was the final one that she needed. So now that Zaz is dead, they realize that they need to team up, because Roman is outside and he has an army of masked men by the name of the False Face Society. So Harley Quinn, Huntress, Black Canary, and Officer Montoya team up and call themselves the Birds of Prey, and they load up on weapons that Harley keeps in this warehouse. That's why she had them come here, because she knew that her weapon stash was here. And a fight ensues, and the Birds of Prey are able to take over and overthrow a lot of these guys because of their superior fighting skills. And Black Canary also has a metahuman ability where she reaches high enough pitch with her voice. It is supersonic and can take out anybody in the surrounding area. So she's able to do that because they are very overwhelmed in terms of how many men are actually after her. In the scuffle, though, Cassie is captured, and with the aid of Huntress, Harley Quinn is able to retrieve Cassie. However, Roman gets a hand on her and takes them to a very foggy, looks like a pier, and Harley has no idea where this guy is. He's speaking, but she doesn't know where it's coming from, and there's just a bunch of statues. So in the fog, any of those statues could have been Roman. And Harley has one bullet left, and she wastes it and shoots a statue. However, Cassie, being the master pickpocket that she is, she's able to pull a ring from the grenade that she took from the armory, I guess you could call it, and slips it in Roman's jacket. And Harley's able to kick him off the pier just as it blows up, and Roman is defeated. Later on, the four women and Cassie go to a diner, just, talking about their victory and how badass and fun it was. And Cassie finally has to use the bathroom, and they're able to get the diamond out. However, thinking that Harley's going to be with them, Harley and Cassie split, and they sell the diamond to a pawn shop and get loads of cash, and Cassie kind of becomes Harley's little affiliate. But the three girls, Huntress, Black Canary, and Montoya, become the Birds of Prey. Montoya says, "Fuck you" to the police department that's treated her so poorly all these years, and teams up with those other two women to become the crime-fighting trio. And Harley Quinn, Bruce, and Cassie drive off to do whatever the heck they're going to do next, in probably Suicide Squad 2. And that was Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Fantabulous Emancipation. This is kind of a mixed bag for me because it wasn't anything special, but it wasn't a horrible film either. It definitely wiped the stain that was Suicide Squad out of my mind. And I think DC is finally finding their niche in terms of how they're doing these films, where it's in the same universe, but they barely reference the overall narrative. And that's been working really, really well for movies like Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, and now this. So I think they're finally starting to, get their groove as to how they're going to make their films. But overall, it's just kind of it's a movie. That's all I have to say. I think the main praise I have for the film is obviously Margot Robbie. She owns this role. Much like Robert Downey Jr. owns the moniker of Iron Man, nobody could ever replace Harley Quinn, at least in live action, because I know that someone else voices her in all the Harley Quinn cartoons that have been coming out, all the adult, violent, gory, curse word-filled, cartoons that have been coming out. I know she's voiced by someone different, but in live action aspects, Margot Robbie's got Harley Quinn locked. I'm curious to see how Harley's going to grow now that Mr. J is out of the picture in Suicide Squad 2, because she has been confirmed to be in that movie, I believe. I think there were set photos of her in her Harley Quinn costume on that set, so I think she's going to be in it. So I hope Bruce and Cassie are involved in that film as well, because I did like that whole aspect of the film where Harley Quinn's kind of becoming humanized by caring for something like Cassie. But that just brings me to my next point. A lot of the plot points in this film are recycled and overused, like the cop cliche, where we have a cop who was robbed of the victory that she completed, is underappreciated, under this, under that, tries to prove herself by taking on a massive case that everyone thinks she's crazy for doing and thinking that she's wasting her time. She gets fired from the force, which only drives her even more, and then she realizes that I don't need this shit and I can do this all on my own and become like my own business. Heard it before, and the same thing with Harley Quinn and Cassie. It's the same story. We have somebody like Harley Quinn who's either mentally insane or a villain and they have to take care of something, whether it be a kid, a pet, whatever. And then there's this big emotional moment where there's a betrayal by the villain or the insane person, and then the kid is all upset and wah, wah, wah. And then after they save them because they realize how wrong they were for betraying them, it's like, oh, all is good and love and war, after they give this big sappy speech about how amazing you were, you changed me and all this. Dry, boring, overused plots that I kind of just like... I was saying that the entire time. I was like, I've seen this before. This is like... I don't know. I just thought that they were kind of lazy and overused. However, I do enjoy the characters of, Black Canary and Huntress and Montoya. I do think that they're very, very fun characters. And the thing I have to really give this movie credit for is, even though, yes, this is like a girl power movie, they barely reference it. A lot of girl power movies nowadays need to make it a point that you know that this is a girl power movie and men blah, blah, blah. But this film kind of dialed back on that, and I kind of appreciated it. How it was just like, okay, we can just enjoy some badass women kicking ass without it being shoved in our face like in Captain Marvel. So that's one thing I have to give it credit for. But other than that, it's pretty run-of-the-mill. I think you'd enjoy it if you enjoy Harley Quinn as a character. I'd give it a chance too, because it is a step up in quality from other DCU films, like in their early days as well. So that's all I have to say. In terms of rating it, for my final verdict, I'm going to have to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Middle of the road. But that 0.5 is definitely attributed to Margot Robbie's fantastic performance. She's so good as Harley Quinn. That couldn't have been cast better. But everyone else did amazing too, even though the movie was subpar. And Ewan McGregor as Black Mask, he was a lot of fun too. His whininess and his like, it's mine, it's all mine. Like that whole persona was just like, oh, it's so funny, because Ewan McGregor's such a great actor, too. So, that's all I have to say in terms of this film. Check it out. It's in theaters now. Next week, I will be getting the Impractical Jokers movie. Don't worry. That's a promise. Yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, all that. Click the bell so you get notified when I upload next. And, until next time, guys, that's a wrap.